Now you use a lot of willpower. And what I would say to you is you could probably reduce the willpower a little bit and things would go, you almost just like surrender to it, and things would actually go just as smooth or better without having to exert yourself so much. Does that resonate at all?
Yeah, it does.
Sorry about that. You asked.
I asked. No, it's very true because if I would, I'm a director by nature.
Yeah, you want to control everything.
I'd like to.
I mean, come on, dude.
I mean,
this place, I mean, like, come on. I can see you walking around. You've got the little Indiana Jones head over there, too.
Of course.
I was like, come on.
The Holy Grail's behind you.
Oh, my God. Like,
the Holy Grail's behind you, of course.
Come on.
Of course, there's Easter eggs all over this
You've
place.
even planned for the love over there. I love that.
No, and the wake, and of
this
course.
This place is like, wow, this is like a little playroom for me. So...
But it's very fascinating because a lot of people are starting. Well, like in our time, in our lifetime, we've had so much growth, and things are growing so fast. Now it's
so fast.
It's daily, monthly, something new's popping up, and and as I'm watching it all, because what I do with this show and with my own journey is I'm trying to connect the dots. Like I've said before, I'm trying to see the whole elephant, and not the just not the tail or the leg or the ear or something like that. I'm trying to put all the elephant together and put the puzzle pieces together. So by talking to every spectrum.
When's your birthday?
June 28th.
June 20th. Okay, so you're a Cancer.
I am, sir.
Yeah, so you've got a lot of heart, but there's also a resistance that you have to being too weighted on the heart side, which is interesting, right? So... But actually, it's who you are, because I feel like that. First of all, I said that to you already. I feel like I've known you forever.
Yeah, same here.
And it's kind of like, I told him, I'm like, definitely we were on the Millennium Falcon together at some point.
And I'm not Chewbacca.
And you're not Chewbacca.
I am not Chewbacca.
We'll ask your wife if that's true.
I love Chewbacca, but I am not Chewbacca. I could be Han Solo or Luke or even Obi-Wan.
But are you Harry?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Latino, sir.
Okay,
of course I'm Harry.
Okay. I'm just kidding. So anyway, but to your point, to your question, why is this all happening now? Well, people are raising their consciousness. As they raise their consciousness, everyone's going to start seeing more and more of it. So global contact, and everyone talks about global contact, is about where we are, not about where the aliens are. They've been here all along.
Let me ask you then, because there's been talks of, okay, now we're going to go a little bit more esoteric.
But that also answers your question, right? Because you cannot be in higher dimension unless you've already mastered these lower dimensional principles of hemisynchronization of your brain. So you can't be in higher dimensional. So, we're in the 4D right now. Now, Arcturians are what they would call themselves future humans. Future from our perspective, but time becomes irrelevant once you go into the 5th and 6th dimensions. It becomes less important. At the 5th dimension, you start realizing that that's what we're going into now, that time flows forward and back. There's only now.
Which is the stacking.
The stacking. Exactly. So you can jump. There are all these different dimensions of you through all your different lifetimes that are happening simultaneous to now. The avatar state of consciousness, just like in the show that's on Netflix right now, The Last Airbender.
Yeah, great show.
The avatar state is when you can tap into all of those lifetimes and capture all the knowledge that you learned in all those lifetimes. You didn't know how to be a sculptor in this lifetime, but you were in the last, you can now access it.
Let me ask you this, though. That's a very interesting point. Would that be what yogis are doing?
Yes.
When they find enlightenment?
Yes. Enlightenment is not just, I'm in love,
No.
Guru means light from dark.
No, but they connect to something. They're connecting to something that opens them up to a place where they're connected to the universe, essentially.
That's right. And all the knowledge
comes rushing
is
in.
there. So the science, the math,
all of it.
Everything is
all
there.
Of it. Yeah.
We don't need, it's like we all think that we have to go to school to learn.
No.
Does a whale need to go to whale school to learn to be a whale? No. It knows how to raise its own consciousness to do all the things that whales do. It knows it from the start. It's like certain animals, they're born, like a horse can run right after it is born, right?
Yeah.
We start thinking about our lives differently. We start realizing that, wait a minute, this is my birthright. I have access to all the information in the world. This has just been a little training wheel for that.
Yeah.
And cataloged it for us. But actually, we can take it all in. And what we have to do to be able to process it is understand the quadrivium. Quadrivium is, Pythagoras said all is number, Plato says all is number. what the quadrivium is it's arithmetic, geometry, music, and cosmology. Arithmetic is number in itself. Geometry is number in space. Music is number in time. And cosmology is number in space-time.
Interesting.
Okay? Once you study these 4 discipline areas, that is like figuring out a way how to titrate your receiver so that the conceiver, the oversoul, the higher self, is the conceiver. Your brain is the receiver, and your consciousness in its divided state is the perceiver. This is what Daryl told me during my podcast with him. He said, this is what Bashar explains: conceiver, receiver, and perceiver. And that so resonated with me. Like, it was like, oh my gosh, that's like, wow. So when we start to realize that we can tap into this higher conscious state, and there are different levels of it. It's not like something that's just instant. You know, you're like in between stages. And so that's where humanity is right now. Some people are experiencing 5th dimensional experience right now. Many people are. And that's the people that have chosen love over more judgment. Judgment is the opposite of love. It's not fear, and it's not hatred. Right? Those are different aspects that feel kind of similar, but I never felt comfortable with the idea that the opposite of love was either hatred or fear.
Right. Yeah.
But judgment nails it for me. Because anytime you have judgment, you've placed conditionality on something. And if you're here to learn a precept of love, if you're here to learn unconditional love, then you will have a lifetime of experiences of conditional love. Because we learn through opposites. If I'm here to learn pleasure, I'm going to experience pain over and over and over again until I no longer either judge negatively pain, right, or fear the pain anymore. The moment I no longer judge something negatively is when I've actually learned its opposite. You understand what I'm saying? We learn through opposites. So our entire life experience here is about experiencing all of this as a dimensionally limited avatar that has an oversoul. The oversoul is chosen to experience itself through our eyes. There's no mistakes. No mistakes. We're not making mistakes. The one wants to learn empathy for every possible circumstance and perspective. And it can learn its greater wisdom because it's a philomath, a lover of learning and a lover of wisdom philosopher in the ancient sense. It divides itself so that it can experience all these different perspectives of angular degrees of perception through our unique eyes that can become billions and billions and millions of people and will always become more and more and more so that it can learn itself. Because, as Alan Watts said, an eye can't see itself without the aid of a mirror. Consciousness can't perceive itself. A knife can't cut itself. A tooth can't bite itself. A fire can't burn itself. So as we go to these higher levels of consciousness, and once we've balanced our brain and we know how to process, because there's a little bit of a processor in there too, we have to have some understanding of things. So by studying quadrivium, we can tune the tuner.